Okay, everybody, we got another large piece of cherry. Only part that I don't like is right here towards the pit. There's some cracks in it. I only need a 10-inch bowl, but this is about a 12-inch piece, so we'll have to see what happens with that. When we round it off, I might have to take it a little extra lower than I wanted to, but that might end up happening with some of these cracks. So let's get my face shield on and let's get to kicking. At about 500 RPM. I'm gonna throw some sealer in here to try to toughen this up a little bit. It feels kind of punky and really like rotten type, as in like it just wants to break apart. So let me see if I might even go with glue, I don't know yet. I really don't want to have to bring it all the way down to here, and then you only have very little bit of cherry, actual meat in the wood. But then again, I do have this little, yeah, I'm bringing it down. I'm taking it down further. But before I do that, I gotta mark it. That's where I need to take it down to. That's a lot I'm losing though. But you got all this part up here that just doesn't want to play. Does not want to play right, so I should have cut it better is what I should have done when I first made the template. Man. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I did that. Alright, yeah. Smaller amount of heartwood. But then again, a bowl and a bowl here. Okay. And that's just a rough turn right now anyway, so way too much there. But as you can see, it's like it's not the best wood right there. Get rid of that. I'd rather have good wood and do a little extra work than having bad wood and go short on the work. Make it easy, you know what I mean? You don't want to make it easy, you want to make it right. Oh, and the white stuff is diatomaceous earth from when I was making some of my other Yorkshire grit, homemade style. And if I had a coring device, I would probably try to, once I feel like I'm getting back down into the good stuff, I would probably try to core it out. But you know, right now it just doesn't seem like it wants to work out too well. It's like it's really dried out and stuff in the middle. Now that's better. I feel more comfortable with this now. Okay, let's see what our size is. We're looking at, oh, another 12-inch. They want a 10-inch bowl, so since I am doing a rough turn, I'm going to give them actually an 11-inch bowl if I do it the way I want to do it. I'm getting ready to go ahead and switch to a 1/2-inch bowl gouge right there. Raise our, there I think. Okay, we're good. I'm about where I need to be to hold off and let it dry. I might go a little bit further down. I'm not going to put the recess in there yet. I'm going to let it dry first. I'm kind of worried about this little patch right there, but not this side. But we shall see. Alright, now I'll let it dry because this is pretty daggone wet in there. Alright, see how long this takes. I'll mark it and set it in a box. It's not bad. It's pretty even, a little bit of a level ledge here, but that's just because I want to be able to get a good recess in here from when it dries. We shall see, we shall see. In the box we go. Now it's time to run for the day. Okay, we're back. We've got a roughed out cherry bowl here. We're looking at about 11 3/4 inch round from end to end, and about 3.5 inches deep. Let's see here. We do have some warpage because we're at 12 inches this way from pith to pith, and then 11 3/4 that way. So since it's roughed out, I am going to put it onto the chuck this way, flatten out our top, and put a recess on the inside of it just so we can grip it to do a better tenon for the back side of it. So that should get us started. Looks like we're going to need some more light. There we go. Hopefully that doesn't mess it up too bad. Let's get our other tool rest. And we'll start with a 1/2 inch bowl gouge. I don't think we need anything too awful big. Let's see. Oh gosh, we do have a little bit of wobble. Make sure we start up slow. About 1100. So, alright, we'll face it off and then we'll start working with the rest of it. We'll face it off this way first, and then we'll hit up a recess on the inside. Make sure we get set. That's going to be for a tenon. I need to do a recess. So let me get this. Let me get my gauge right, and I'll come back and we'll set that up. Okay, this should get us about right. So. There's where we need to be at. Square and scraper. Right there. Oh. Now we're gonna work with this. Okay, that should handle this. We'll get it flipped over and we'll get the outside trued up, and then we'll come back to the inside. Actually, I want a little bit more of a tenon in this. Sounds like my daughter just got home. There we go. That ought to do it. So this gives it something more to grip. I could have went with straight walls, but just in case it swings too much. Let's see how far off I was on my guessing. Oh, it will work. Once I can, yep. The only thing about the Novas is it's not an Allen key, and you got to really play with it to say, like, I'm not going to be able to turn this. I'm going to have to use a flat tip screwdriver to move it. Good thing I have one. Now, all I'm doing is turning the teeth. I'm not like digging in and, you know, being rough with it. I'm just turning the teeth one by one. So I think I'll get a new chuck style that uses the Allen keys for the next time. And I'm going the wrong way. No, I'm not. I just missed. Back in a little bit. Okay, now we're in all the way. Oh, that's actually my son home. It's not my daughter. Why do you not want to the rest of the way? There we go. Okay. And yes, I am going to use tailstock support and start off slower, just because it's not perfect, but it's on there. Pretty good cuts. Have some tear out here in this pith area. But all in all, it doesn't seem too awful bad, so let's see if I can get those tear outs out of it. How are we looking on center in here? Yeah, we're still looking good on the camera. Alright. Alright, even better. Okay, so I'll bring out the scraper and do a little bit of refining on it. And where did I move that scraper to? Oh, duh, it's over here. Okay. Definitely more refined. I'm going to sharpen this stuff up, and I really want to get rid of this little bit of tear out. And it's just that it's really dry there, a little bit punky. I may have to hit it with some CA glue, let it soak up into it, or some thinned out epoxy, just to be able to keep it. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go sharpen up and bring you back. Okay, so what I did was I took and made some 1-to-1 epoxy, food grade epoxy that I used, and thinned it out with some denatured alcohol. And what's going to happen, it looks like a runny water, or a thicker water than usual. What this is going to do is it's going to get down inside this punkiness. It's going to soak it up. The denatured alcohol is going to evaporate, and the punkiness will be harder. It'll suck up that epoxy and harden up, and then we should get a much cleaner cut. See, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but right here you see it's coming on and it looks really glossy, but then in a matter of seconds, when I don't touch it, it's soaking up into the punkiness and it's turning like a dull color. Like right here, it's starting to do it, but it's soaking into the wood. I'm going to move the camera so you can see it better. But as you can see, shiny here, dull there. So I'm going to do this one, a couple more coats here and on the inside, and then we'll do, doesn't really have much there, but a little bit right there. And I'll charge the battery, and tomorrow I'll come back and work on it some more after everything's cured and hardened. See you later. Okay, we're back. Our cherry bowl here has sat overnight. The epoxy's dried in it. I think it's soaked up pretty good, so I'm just going to touch up the rim up here on the back side, and then I'll work on the face again, and then work on the inside and finish this up. So let me see what we got going on here. Speed 1189. Well, it is coming out smoother on the backside, but the scraper's not really going to be the way to work this one. It had a little bit more wobble for some reason last night. Maybe because I was adding moisture to it. So alright, that was much better. Much better. Alright, finish her off a little bit on the back side. Alright, that's sandable. And that's pretty smooth. Darn smooth all the way around. So I'm happier with that. Touch up the very bottom and backside. Okay, now we're good. 1/2 inch bowl gouge, we'll face it off. Chamfer the ends. See what that looks like. Alright, I'll probably have to do more epoxy once I thin it down for the inside, because you can see where it did soak in, but I guess I didn't get enough in there. I should have waited a little bit longer and did the inside more. Alright, it's alright, learn from our mistakes. I'm going slower on these edges because it's thinner, and I don't want to use the scraper if I'm thin at the bottom too, because we're going to have even more wobble. So I'm scraping a little bit, cutting a little bit, scraping a little bit, cutting a little bit. Alright. I'm probably got about 1 inch left down the bottom. Alright, right now we're pretty even all the way down to the bottom. The sides are good all the way to about here. And then we've got about 1/2 inch, well, 3/8 of an inch to play with. Alright, now we're time for sanding. And we still have a little bit of wobble, but it'll bring more character to the bowl, I think. Alright, so let's get it to it. Sanding time. I should have checked the moisture a little bit better before I started this thing. I thought it was dried out enough. It may not have been. Alright, I'm going to get the sand and bring you back when I put a finish on it. Gotta check my fire and the wood stove anyway. Alright everybody, we're back with our large cherry bowl here. And we've got everything hardened up the way it needed to be. Any of the soft spots are gone. It's actually pretty darn smooth. We're gonna hit it with some denatured alcohol to pop it, and then we'll hit it with the 600 grit again to knock it back. So we do have some good grain. We've got our little lizard face in here, you know, eyeballs and the mouth. That's going to look pretty darn good after it gets it's going to be a food safe bowl, so I'm going to knock it back with the 600, and then I'm going to hit it with my sanding paste, and then we'll be all done with it. So alright, yeah, these pieces here where the eyeballs are definitely popped up, so it's got a little bit of, the grain has popped up on those, so looks like we're good to go. I'm going to hit this last little bit. Well, nope, it's kind of dry. I'll just bring you back when I start putting on the sanding paste. Okay, we're back yet again. We've got everything knocked down. We got our sanding paste here. Let's layer it up really good. And it's going to take a good amount of it. My stuff's gotten pretty dry, so I'm going to have to probably make some more here. There we go. Alright. Just wait until it starts getting, when I start spinning it up to get it to work in. I think it's going to turn out pretty darn good. That's what I'm hoping, at least. We shall see. We're going to have to definitely work this in. Alright. That should be good for the inside. Now for the back side. Alright, backside's going good. There we go. Alright. Alright. Let's see how our camera's still going good. Let's spin up the front. Get us at about 800 to start with. Warming it up. This part's going to take a while, so I'll probably fast forward it. Alright, let's see what we got before we start buffing it out. That's with it not being buffed out. That's just a little sanding going on. It's actually looking pretty good. I'm still happy with it. Okay. Let's get us a clean paper towel. And that'll be nice. We'll start with the inside first. Let's see, we'll bump up the speed a little bit. We're at 1100 now. And the object is to buff it out with a clean paper towel until you get nothing on the paper towel. First time, second time, third one. And yes, you want to speed the speed up a little higher. I'm only at 1100. I probably could go to 1200, but we got a little wobble in this thing. Third time we had a little bit come out, but as you can see, we got some shine to it. So let's keep on going. That ought to do it. Alright, now for the outside. The outside, really, I hit it with the backside of that other, what you call it, the other cloth when I did it. So there's really not a lot coming off this one. Now we just keep on working it until we get a nice clean pull off. Alright. Not bad. And again, that's just after a buffing. Now I can take and throw some mineral oil on it. Let me get my mineral oil and see what we're going to look like. Oh, it's in the clean room. I'll be back. Okay. Now we're back. I'll probably edit out that time looking for this, so it's not that much of a deal. Nice old liberal coat, food grade mineral oil Look at that. And we'll let this soak in and let it set, and we'll buff it out probably about an hour and see how it looks. It's not really a buff out. You wipe off any excess after it's soaked up is all you're doing. But there we go. Now all I got to do is take it off, flip it over, take the tenon off. But we got our little lizard eyeball, nose, and mouth. Alright, y'all. Bring you back after it's done for the pictures. Alright, we've got the tenon off. We got the base sand, the foot sanded down. Time for a signature. Then we'll let it dry and oil it up. There we go. Alright, we'll get some pictures done. Yeah.